This is the Mid-Columbia Library here in Greater Washington. Zip code is 98823. Greater Washington, Mid-Columbia Library, across from the bus terminal, which is the Freighter Transit Station, and which is connected to the Amtrak station. We got the young adult section, which is the upper class series and moderates, and the multicultural, and then also mythology and science, and this is not the nonfiction, it would be science fiction. There is some, and there is nonfiction, and there's basically drama on American Cross, and there's also the Roadrunner, as in assessments in the Kazakh program, where they have basketball. You got the basketball, they got championships, you got the city awareness, you got biography of the city, the biggest city to versus the little cities, and they have those in documentation and literature. And this is the young section, which is usually moderated with the authors as when booked, infinite, and also with the Fire of Hire, the Keeper, Junior's Daughter, and also they have the Ruder Sips, Between Shades of Gray. This is a Ruder Shippers is the author, and Between Shades, and this is the North Central Regional Library, and that's Freighter Washington, and these are the Between the Shades of Gray. They have the several amounts of those are for the romantic and the popular series or romantic series, for the anything for those natures of more interesting than the Gothic or the critical or in-depth in the American literature. But they have some nonfiction on the some of you. All you have to do is take a look. But the rundown in here has updated the original Central region, actually, the North Central regional, and they have the Mid-Columbia Library, as you can tell. They have that on Facebook, YouTube, and that's Mid-Columbia Library with your bus pass. You know, on your bus pass there is a library pass archive onto it. As you can see, it says A, and it says A on it, and there's the ID on it, and the ID has your library pass on it attached to it, and it's not Microsoft Edge, it's a different program. It's Microsoft, and it's registered Windows 10, meaning that the window is your name, and it's also processed and has antivirus on it. So has a Mid-Columbia Library has an essential regional library, actually, a North Central Library, have a compromise individually in training and individual students that come in, and of course tutoring and whatnot, but the systematics for them coming back and forth, supplies, which is the dollar store. I recommend the dollar store. The dollar store is here. They have the dollar store, and they have supplies. You go to the dollar store. You also got style pens that which they never did have. Now they do. Now they got style pens with lights, luminous lights. You can use it for a pointer. You got pointer light, and you also got luminous lights. So you got that covered for $1.08, and also the hygiene, also the processing for the whatever budget you got for. You're gonna have to build your credit. When you're building your credit, you got US Bank, Chase Bank, Upper Bank, Chase Bank, Upper Bank, right across, half hour away, and then you got to go across the US Bank and Upper Bank, Chase Bank is right across the street. So, and it's only about 3 minutes away in either direction. That's George Washington House. That's any direction from George Washington House is 3 minutes away. Any around the George Washington House, it's about 5 minutes away. If you're from the Basin Retirement Center, or you're behind the mountain ridge, behind the mountain ridge, by the mansion, in the mansion area, which is the ranching area, district area, not the residential, it's district, that's regional, that's State Patrol or U.S. Marshal ordinances, that direction. We'd have to, I'd say it's about 5 miles. If you run it, it's about three minutes. If you can run from all the way from the mansion or down the regional to the ranch navigation line, back to the Freda Courthouse, all the way to the Freda Court Retirement Center, it's about 6 minutes. If you're carrying all your gear. Without your gear, it's about 3 minutes. You can do that. If you run all the way back and forth, it's about, just walking with no gear, it's 9 minutes. Just depending if you're going uphill or downhill. If you're going uphill, it's going to be about 6 minutes. You come back downhill, it's going to be 3 minutes. And you got the Department of Transportation, which you don't have to use any fuel. You don't have to be charged $50 for your tank going back and forth. $50 to fill your tank. That fills up your tank and your reserve tank. And you don't have to go back and forth because you got Department of Transportation. And also Department of Transportation ends the road by a gas station, but there's a Department of Transportation gravel, feed, snow plows, and also the canines and assessments, signs, tags, so forth. You have the individual, the boss, the majority boss, minority. He wants to do the Facebook and YouTube for Royal City so they can get the Amtrak system going all the way to Othello, Washington. Othello, Washington, Sunset Acres has the whole railroad system can have routed, which be a railroad will connect to all the Amtrak services, the fuel lines, and also the transport and export services, and also the wall from Mexico and on that side. The other side is going up, which it's almost done, but there's some small little litigations, like a year, 2 years down the road, there's going to be an entryway. So when it goes into Amtrak, there's going to have to be an entryway because of the alfalfa, the corn, and also the organics that's going to be in that field. It's going to be open gate. Oh, you have to be an open entrance way because so many accidents, car accidents in the winter. Like this winter, January, February, March, April, we had windfall, we had winter, and we had downfall in the harvest and ranchers, farmers, and the father and grandmother and grandfather were very upset. They didn't want to pay none of the Mexicans, they didn't want to pay none of the black minorities, or none of the Chinese, or the Philippines, or the Koreans, or the squash plants, which are white, black people with big lips, they called them. The assisting and reproduction and vegetating suckers at the bottom of the oceans where the algae eaters. And they're sitting there getting in the way and facilitating and milking the clock, even though they're not working, so we catch them goofing off and soliciting or processing themselves to put the extra dollar in their pocket to catching them in the act. So anyways, grandpa and grandma they want to pay none of them, so Department of Transportation plowed all the snow and all the streets, which these streets remain 3, 6, 8 feet. They're high, which are cliffs, and there were snow drifts 8, 10 feet high everywhere. Frozen rain everywhere, after layer after layer after layer. In Conga, Lamb Weston, of course, all the pipes broke. And the Lamb Weston pipes and all the residential apartment complexes and building permits, and those lines broke. And for that reason, there was a inquiry manifest abstract record, department license, since I'm in the department license, and there's accidents all the time. You come in and walk in, department license, and you got to refurnish and reprocess and get their duplicates because they're moving in for recollection because they can handle the budget for their rental, and they're in a house that they do not own. We own it, so we have to sign their driver's license, abstract record, and also recollection report, the UBI number, business number. And the rancher's farmer, grandfather, and mother, we have to separate them and put some blinds on them, like bodacious or bull or stallions. You don't have two males or two female horses together because they will kick at each other, and they're very wild. So we had to separate them because the January, February, March, April, and May there was snowfall, and was supposed to be plowing the field, and supposed to be seeding the field, and it's supposed to be the second harvest and the cutting second harvest, and that never happened. So we took a yielding and hit on that, and of course the farm bill's been paid all the way till 2025. And that inquiry statement and the inquiries on the software program, so that I got the Mid-Columbia Library and also the regional, which is the North Central Regional Library, and they got it on the all the inquiry. And they got a manufacturer, when you build your record, you can go to dollar store, and you get your 15, when you're 15 and a half, you get your driver's license. But when you get a violation or whatever that violation might be, they give you 90 days and then put you on all the way until you're 17. And if you mess up again, it's all the way till you're 18. So whatever that might be, stay off the streets because of the snow. So that simple fact, January, February, March, April, and May, snow was everywhere. All the students and also the faculty and staff members got tickets because they got an accident. So they come to Department of Licensing, and grandfather and mother was very upset because their insurance claims, the business, the trucks, the oil companies, and the contract trucks, and trucks were in cahoots because the $500 charge for the chaining up the semi-truck, Freightliner, Kenworth, Peterbilt, and then also the assessments where they're pulling out and jackknifing, and then processing where the damage of pulling out, towing the vehicle, truck, the semi-truck, or anything with livestock, cattle, dairy products, and also the horses and corrals, which are associated with January, February, March, April, May, which causes dramatization for when they're supposed to be exercised and can exercise. So it caused a lot of static throughout the globe, actually. The yielding and the money that's supposed to be inquiry for deposit for the inquiry for the water for the seed, and also the retailing, and it's supposed to be saved up, and then nothing was saved up now. Since Line Western's water line has been fixed, the propane lines that were overlooked and inspected from all the way from Cimaron 5, INC, Othello, Freda, and also Moses Lake were damaged from all the way to Kennewick, all the way to Oregon State, from Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, and that was billions upon billions of feet that was damaged. That's a natural cascade in Kennewick on Clearwater. That's on YouTube, Facebook, and also the Grand Ridge, and that is the Social Security office, and also the District 1, 2, and 3 office, which is the law administration and processing attorney's job. The general aid of the processing for any appeals for OPEC, OSHA, and so forth for those ordinances, like the John Deere Evergreen Implement Equipment, John Deere, Maloney, Illinois is a factory, and Microsoft program Bill Gates and Melinda Gates at 1835 73rd Avenue and Northeast, and that's in Medina, Washington 98039 zip code. And it's in Seattle, and that's not for sale either. But since they, if you're in the Amtrak station, that's a government ordinance, and also the post office ain't for sale. You lease it to the government. So every per diem, so that farm bill is paid out to 2025. So the inquiry on the manifest mother and father don't want to pay none of you. So I have to separate the individual and each inquiry mansion and penthouse and suite, Denver Town Historic, and also an Air Force One, take the landing gear away and then take the maintenance people down one by one every time they come in and process the information coming to us, intimidating the staff members and family owners, and Winco, Rosars, Bonds, Yokes, and also Albertsons, and also we don't do business with the adversaries. We have other people that do the campaigns for $3 to $9 instead of $500 billion special or $500 million special, which we've been indicated here by Patty Marine in Cantwell at the post office, and she gets her little area there, so all the keys are on me and wear them, so you got to make sure that the systems are updated. And grandma and father don't want to pay none of them. The simple fact is writing, documenting everything. And since Mr. and Mrs. and also Mrs. and Mrs. How would you say, the processing unit and update for original Mid-Columbia Library was in between shades of gray. That's a young adult, not YA California Youth Authority, where you can beat up a bunch of principals and go into the house and go to administration and unload clip and kill everybody up. And then think you're going to be having not get away with it, but figure out you can turn the bullet and kill yourself with it and make an affidavit, make an ass of yourself. And they don't want to pay the attributes on the system, it's on the system for the paperwork. Documentation has representing repercussions for restitution to hearing regardless of siblings and responsibilities in the household. So grandma and mother really are upset and don't want to pay for all the expenses, but they're going to have to alleviate, make sure answer to the individual. It says 15 and a half. Your first violation is 90 days. And if you mess up again in the violation, either drinking anything over 40 grams and then consumption of 40 grams, and if that does happen, and in process, they're supposed to take that 40 grams and the 40 grams.
Sir, excuse me, but is this going to go on for a really long time?
No,
Because
no.
this is a place where I expect to be quiet. I can focus on YouTube.
I'll just serve you right now.